So we have a lot to talk about, from Megan Thee Stallion, Evelyn Lozada breaking up with that guy she met on Queen's Court. We also have to talk about Lupita Nyongo getting with Joshua Jackson and then having to release a statement that she broke up with that other man. And not just that, Idina Menzel, Taye Diggs' ex-wife, is speaking out about how their interracial relationship couldn't survive based off of the pressure that Taye received from the Black community. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So I wanted to do a mashup of some hot topics that we haven't gotten a chance to cover or talk about, and some of them are somewhat related. Okay? Some of them. But first off, very much like on our Tuesday takeover where we cover a variety of hot topics and reality TV news, I wanted to start off with some good news, and that is for Megan Thee Stallion. As you know, Megan Thee Stallion, we recently celebrated the fact that she said she was going to be releasing her next project independently. Well, I'm sure this was because she knew that this news was coming. According to Billboard magazine, she has settled with her former label. So Megan Thee Stallion has reached a settlement to end her legal war with former record label 1501 Certified Entertainment after more than 3 years of litigation over a record deal she calls unconscionable. Attorneys for 1501 announced Thursday that the two sides had, quote, mutually reached a confidential settlement to resolve their legal differences. Under the deal, Megan and 1501 will amicably part ways. Both Megan and 1501 are pleased to put this matter behind them and move forward with the next chapter of their respective businesses, 1501 said. They said in the same statement, the label's president, Carl Crawford, said that he and his company wish Megan the very best in her life and career. Specific terms of the deal, including whether any money changed hands, were not disclosed. Billboard does write that the settlement could signal the start of a heated competition to sign a new record deal with Megan, a superstar who broke out in 2019 with the viral hit Hot Girl Summer. As you know, on a recent Instagram Live, Megan said that she was not going to release her next project under a label. She is going to be weighing her options, but she wants to get this new music to us, and I'm excited for it. So go stream that. In some related news, see, look how I'm going to tie this together. Carl Crawford is the head of 1501, Megan's now old label, ex-label, is the baby's father of Evelyn Lozada's son and her ex. So she has confirmed, because, we talked about this when we were talking about Tamar Braxton and the man that she just broke up with, who they both met on Queen's Court. And we were like, is Evelyn still with her guy? And I told you, I went through her Instagram, and that was, look, normally I don't do that. But I was interested. I was like, I don't see any pictures of him. I don't see her wearing the ring. Well, now she's confirming to Us Weekly that they are no longer together. This is what Evelyn Lozada said in a statement to Us Weekly. So as you may recall, the pair got engaged in December of 2022 after falling in love on the Peacock dating show Queen's Court, which aired on the streamer in March on Peacock. She says this in a statement. She says, things went so fast. 6 months later, we were engaged, and I just felt a little bit of a disconnect. And the distance, he lives in Atlanta, that was another thing that was really, really difficult. These are things that they discussed on the show. Just want to point that out. She says he has a son that is, I believe, listen to this part, y'all. He has a son that is, I believe, in his first year of high school or going into high school. So she doesn't even know these basic details about someone she was seriously considering marrying. I get it. We don't remember everything. We don't remember everyone's birthdays and things like that. But I just feel like this is such a fresh relationship. These are things, he has a child, you have a child. I wonder how you would feel if he didn't know something about your son. I'm just saying. I know it's semantics, but I'm just saying. It stood out to me. She says, it was a lot of moving parts, and it just started to becoming difficult. And I was just like, I don't want to keep this going just for the world. The same way that you probably got engaged for him just for the world. Lozada went on to share that they both believe parting ways was the right thing to do. She says, I'm just happy that we're able to just be mature and friends. Not Evelyn Lozada being mature and going back to Basketball Wives doing the same antics she's been doing for the last 10 years. And I liked Evelyn on this show, but it's like it's giving Evelyn, you're on this perpetual circle of doing the same thing over and over again. I would love to see you evolve. Anyways, moving on. So let's talk about another couple. So we reported to you about the split between Jodie Turner-Smith and Joshua Jackson. They are officially filed for divorce. We talked a little bit about that. So they're in the middle of a divorce. Well, recently, Lupita Nyongo was photographed with Joshua Jackson at the Janelle Monáe show. And I'm in my head thinking, damn, Joshua Jackson is really bagging the baddies in our community. Like, how do you go from Jodie not to Lupita? Well, so many of you were like, oh, wait a minute. Isn't Lupita with someone else? What are you doing out? Sidebar, these two were just hanging out. It doesn't mean that they're actually together. I mean, I guess men and women can't be friends. They can't go to a Janelle Monáe concert and have a good time. Just saying. Like, I just want to point that out. Unless they were hugged up with each other, based off the pictures, I didn't see them hugged up. Unless there's a picture I did not see. But because people started talking about this, Lupita felt the need to post that she had broken up with the other guy that she had shared on her social media not too long ago. So in a statement, Lupita posted on her social media this. She says, there are much more important things going on in the world right now. Peace in the Middle East. And my thoughts are with those who are deeply suffering. She says, at this moment, it is necessary for me to share a personal truth and publicly disassociate myself from someone I can no longer trust. She says, I find myself in a season of heartbreak because of a love suddenly and devastatingly extinguished by deception. Damn. I mean, she says, I am tempted to run into the shadows and hide, only to return to the light when I have regained my strength enough for me to say, whatever, my life is better this way. She then says, but I am reminded that the magnitude of the pain I am feeling is equal to the measure of my capacity for love. Okay, I love that. Let me read that one more time for the folks in the back. She says, but I am reminded that the magnitude of the pain I am feeling is equal to the measure of my capacity for love. I love me some Lupita, though. Come on, Lupita. She says, and so I'm choosing to face the pain, cultivating the courage to meet my life exactly as it is, and trusting that this too shall pass. She says, the promise, they say, is that a tender heart is what gives birth to fearlessness. I hope it's true. I share this to keep it 100 and hoping that the knowledge of my experience might be useful to someone else out there experiencing the grip of heartbreak who is poised to try and escape from the pain and miss out on the wisdom that comes from it. #breakup. She says, let's face our pain so we don't spread it. Oh, that's a word, Lupita. But you forgot to put P.S. This is why you see me out with this other man. Joshua Jackson. Well, no, she didn't have to say that. But this Joshua Jackson situation might not even be serious. She just broke up with this other guy, and he's in the middle of a divorce. This might be just friends hanging out, or break my back once or twice because I'm single and ready to mingle. You know you've been there before. Don't look at me like that. So we have that. So let's talk about this other situation. So you know Idina Menzel, Broadway star, voice of Frozen. Yeah, you know who she is. And you also know who Taye Diggs is. Did you know that they were married a long time ago? They met when they were doing the Broadway show Rent. So she did this recent interview and she revealed that the complexities and the pressure that Taye Diggs felt from our community, the Black community, due to him being married to a white woman.
Taye Diggs is who you're talking about when you're speaking of your ex, and you met doing Rent together. Mm-hmm. I remember in like high school, there'd be, there's a thing called a showmance, and that's like, when you get a crush on your leading man, and or your leading lady, and it's not supposed to last. It's not supposed to last, and yet you had a showmance that turned into a marriage.
Yes,
in which you had a child, a beautiful boy, Walker.
And then a divorce.
And a divorce.
But 16 years later.
Yeah. The fact that both of you are actors and one is having, first of all, you both were incredibly successful, but one is having a surge of success. Yeah. How did that affect
There's lots.
things?
It's very complicated. I mean, very supportive of each other always.
Of course.
So excited for him. The thing that came into play more, I would say, and he's talked about it too, is the interracial aspect of it. Because we were never, when you're in the theater, like, it's just not a thing. Like, we all love each other and sleep with each other and best friends with whoever wants to be, whatever sexual orientation.
Well, I love the theater community.
Yeah. But when you leave that cocoon, that bubble, and now in his case, he's people's, 50 most beautiful
50 most
people,
beautiful.
or he's on the cover of Essence and Ebony, and being interviewed by all of these Black journalists. And I think he had his own stuff to deal with that, and it seemed like there was disappointment in the community with him because he was married to some little white Jewish girl from some show that we don't even remember anymore. And so I took that on too, you know. Anyway, that's stuff that we had to deal with. So it was less about being successful and more about just that kind of stuff, you know. And
it's hard because, I mean, here you have two theater kids, and then all of a sudden you're like going to red carpets and Hollywood events, and
it's can we get a picture of him by himself?
Right,
you know?
100%. When Wicked happened, that was a huge moment for you, and then I think you were on the rise in a way that you hadn't been before in your career. But also, I wonder what was that like for Taye and you and your relationship?
He was relieved probably and happy and proud of me, and he was always so supportive and probably relieved, so he didn't have to feel like he was overshadowing in some way or taking up too much space, you know.
So a lot of you had some very interesting things to say in the comment section of this story on multiple platforms, because I was checking out all the platforms just to kind of get a consensus of how you guys feel about the situation. And one of the things that I keep seeing is people associating, they say, well, you guys get riled up when a black man dates a white woman, but you don't get riled up when a white man dates a black woman. Here's the thing, and this is because I actually have friends that are in interracial relationships, all right? I've never had this experience. Not interracial dating. I've done interracial dating, but I've never had the experience where I felt backlash from people for it. This backlash is because I'm gay, but that's a whole other situation. Focus. Okay. But I found it to be interesting that people felt like there was some sort of difference and that the community felt that it was different. Let me tell you a story. One of my friends that is a black woman and she's married to a white man. She told me, and living here in New York City, she probably felt more racism, more derogatory comments and statements and looks from the black community here in New York City based off of her dating this white man. And I was like, really? Because you just never know. You never know people's experience. So that always stood out to me. And this is why it's important to tell your story to people so that people can learn and grow from your opinion and your experience. So when I see all these comments saying that people treat black men very differently when they're dating a white woman, I was like, y'all do realize just because y'all say it on social media doesn't make it fact either. I would be interested to see what the real life experience of both sides of this coin experiences. Because based on what I've seen and heard from other couples in real life, it's pressure. The consistent thing is pressure from the community. It doesn't matter if it's a black man or it's a black woman dating interracially. It's our community not liking that and putting pressure on these individuals because they're dating outside their race. But according to Idina Menzel, this is part of why they ended up breaking up, because Taye felt the pressure of society. You know, he had a very up and coming career. He was one of People Magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People. You know, he was on the cover of Essence and doing all these different things. And apparently the pressures of what the community were saying got to him. And I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening. I don't understand why we care who someone's dating though. But as someone that's gay, I also wonder why you guys care whether I sleep with a man or a woman. You don't have to sleep with whoever I'm sleeping with. So it goes with that whole idea. I think if we were starting to relate all of these things to other aspects of our lives, I'm not going to judge you for who you decide to sleep with. Color, religion, man or woman, a non-binary. I'm not going to, because that's your life. That's your life. I feel like as a community, especially a community that has been marginalized, a community that has been held back in so many ways, I feel like sometimes we're doing the same thing that people have done to us. And you know what I always say, my favorite Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quote is, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So I take it very seriously when we see injustices for other people. I can't disassociate myself. Well, that's not my problem. No, because it eventually could be your problem. So as a community, we need to start healing whatever it is when we see people dating outside their race. We're like, that's their business. Good for you. That person makes you happy. Good for you. You don't want to do that? That's great for your life. And it's a shame that this may have caused their relationship to suffer. But they've moved on. They've moved on. They have a beautiful child together, though. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to some of the stories that I brought to you today. A little mashup of some of the things that are being talked about on this Friday. As always, be sure to share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.